Bardzo Państwa serdecznie witam na spotkaniu poświęconym rozwojowi miast, zrównoważonemu rozwojowi miast, które to spotkanie robimy w gronie polsko-czeskim i chcemy troszeczkę na przykładzie Łodzi podpatrzeć to, w jaki sposób miasta dzisiaj się przekształcają.
Łódź powstało na przedsiębiorczości. Powstało, można powiedzieć, z 4 kultur, z tej ekonomii żydowskiej, z technologii niemieckiej, z rosyjskiego prostego zarządzania, ale i z tego polskiego także sprytu. Ta historia nie chce być historią, ta historia powraca. Chętnie podzielimy się naszymi doświadczeniami, ale chętnie będziemy korzystać z tych najlepszych.
European cities have challenges which are more or less same. We have also guidelines and certain principles obligatory in the whole European Union. However, every country and every city has its own specific situation. And of course, the answers to the challenges might be different. That is why it's very good to exchange experiences and good practices. Central Eastern Europe, especially countries like Poland or Czech Republic, have a lot of things in common, but there are also some differences between us.
Both countries cope with similar problems. Both cities in both countries cope with problems that have a source in the previous system, the industrial character of some of the cities, and also the negligence of the infrastructure in the centers of the cities.
Digital transformation or digital revolution is the first revolution Poland can be actively co-shaping, not only benefiting some long time after the fruits of the revolution are installed into business models or models of societal organization. Czech Republic had the chance to co-shape the first industrial revolution mainly in the 19th century, and now it is consuming the fruits thereof. Czech Republic has much more congested network of railways, of roads, which of course defines the very basic infrastructure of sustainable development. So I would see this as a first, probably the main defining difference between these two countries. Czech Republic has already much more developed infrastructure, whereas Poland is still trying to catch up with that.
Poland has much more bigger cities and distributed on a larger area. Obviously, it has different conditions than, for example, Czech Republic, which has only few really big cities and then a lot of smaller cities. So the conditions are definitely unique, and also the infrastructure works differently, but the problems, I think, are similar.
The first main problem is the mindset of citizens, which still are probably not taking and not making the most of the laws and possibilities they have in changing their immediate environment. Post-communist mentality. First of all, the societies are still not yet, but this is of course unluckily changing. Citizens are still not that much perceiving their ownership of problems and possible solution of the problems. They have to be led by an institution. But things are changing, and both in the Czech Republic and in Poland we can see a lot of bottom-up and grassroots initiatives where actually municipalities are being forced in inverted commas of course, by citizens to take care of public spaces that are not being used properly.
Well, we agreed in both countries the citizens' involvement is crucial, and that at each stage of revitalization or city authorities need to consult and basically conduct the whole process with the engagement of the citizens. Otherwise, it's very likely it would be controversial and would not bring the results.
in Czech Republic, we have seen that the best way how to make something work is if you have the people from local environment that are interested in the subject, that are passionate about it. And for example, when there is a new cultural institution or a new project or something, some part of city developing, it's always the most important thing to engage the people who live there or the people who work there, who has some relation to the place or the project. So it has certain way to continue in the future. Because if there's only a project implemented from the top, and you don't cooperate with the local authorities or the local activists or the local engaged parties, the future of the project is very complicated then.
One big mistake is Control C and Control V. When you see something what is working in different city and you think it could work in your city. So it's really possible to see very often that you see this really similar projects around Europe, and you say why it's so similar, and then you know that and why they are so similar and why there is not attended by the people.
Second shared problem, which is the lack of leadership in terms of sustainable development. Very often, be it on the state level or on the municipal level, there are different either ministries or departments within municipalities that do not communicate with one another, and this really translates into miscommunication in terms of preparing a coherent and joint strategy.
When it comes to growth of the city, it is not as important as definitely not as a physical growth, but it's important to go more into depth. As I already mentioned, it is important to really think strategically when it comes to cities, because there will be more and more people in them. There will be smarter, more efficient solutions, and it comes really fast. So it is really important to focus on what the cities already have, what's their benefits, what's their strong sides, and focus on them and developing them, and also trying to realize, for example, their strengths and their weaknesses so they can work with what they have.
We are in the city of Łódź, which is an incredibly successful story in the last years because of the transformation this city has going through. And I think it could be a very good model for the others as well, what to do, how to transform a city which is a totally industrial, created in 19th century on the base of a very traditional factory production, into a modern hub of BPO services and creative industries. And revitalization is the key, and encouragement for the people to go for new technologies, for new kind of companies. This is the key for success. We do hope similar examples all over Central and Eastern Europe can help the other cities in our region to also find a way of growth. And the question how to build the growth of our cities on a base of the sustainable development is the question we'll have in the nearest future.